Goeiemôre almal en baie welkom terug by die winterseisoen van 2025 en ek hoop dat ons 'n goeie seisoen sal hê. Welcome everybody at the 2025 winter selling season of 2025 and hopefully we will have a good season. Yesterday didn't start well and I'll give you the reasons now. In my morning scripture I read this morning that I must give you comfort, so hopefully I can. But there is two major things that played a role yesterday. Firstly is the world politics and economy is really messy. It's not in a good place and there's a lot of uncertainty. That creates uncertainty by end users, and we can see it in demand. That's from the one thing, and there I'm even adding that to that the levies of Donald Trump from the USA also played a major role. There's two countries that buys about 80-90% of South African mohair, and that is Italy and China. Now, Italy has a levy of 10% on it, and we can see it yesterday. The kit prices was good. So it doesn't play that much of a role. But the adult component was go to China with levies of 30% and in excess of 30%. It did have a major effect. And they are very price sensitive at the moment. Yes, I agree. Not all the mohair that is going to China is going to the USA and is affected in this with the levies. But I can tell you, USA is still one of the most important countries in the world where fashion clothing is selling. And at least 30% of Chinese production is going there. So it do have a major impact. Then the second thing that was also, I think, the biggest impact at the moment is the availability of mohair. It's always a problem this time of the year. It's August, it's the beginning of a season. Everybody is hesitant to commit themselves, there's no final decisions that has been made yet. Half of Europe is still on holiday. And yesterday was quite a big sale for, this biggest sale for me in a very long time for as a first sale. 150,000 kilos in total. So then you also got the Lesotho sale on Lesotho mohair on offer. Lesotho this time of the year is just as big as the Cape because they only sell 6 months of the year. So there's suddenly a lot of mohair available, and I think too much. There's not a lot of buyers, and there was a little bit of an improvement yesterday. You'll see in the statistics that it is not just Salmon and Stukken that is buying everything. There was some other competition as well, which is a very good sign, because then it shows you there's a bit of general business also taking place. But my advice to you, if you do have the ability to keep your mohair a little bit back, or even send it down and get an advance on it or let it lay, but try to market more to the second half of the season. Then the Lesotho is already sold, and it will definitely have an effect on price. We've seen it in the past 2 or 3 years, but there's always an improvement to the end of the winter season and not in the beginning of the winter season. It is a problem. Saying that, we are better off than a year ago. There's a lot of people that doesn't realize that and said, no man, a year ago I got more from my mohair. But I can tell you the clip is far stronger than a year ago. Usually the clip component of the micron group that we've got the most mohair in summer is the 31, 32 micron group, because there's a lot of adults in and a lot of young bloods. In winter, that moves 1 micron, is either 32, 33 micron, that's got a burst of mohair. This particular sale all the mohair was virtually in the 35, 36 micron group. Now, a 32 micron is selling for 270. Yesterday, 260. But the 35, 36 micron group is selling for 240. That's a 50 rand a kilo difference. That is a major impact on the average. Just a good example, and I'm going to mention it is for Eddie Jager van Graddock. He's got a very fine clip. His clip on average is 28, 29 micron. Everybody knows about his ways of feeding animals and so on. But he averaged 450 rand a kilo for his clip. Because his clip was fine. So if your clip is fine and the right quality is there, you get a very good income. So this is more or less a summary of what happened yesterday. And talking about the next sale is going to be even bigger. So if you're on the next sale and there's any way that you can withdraw and go to later in the season, do it. And but let's see what's going to happen. I was surprised yesterday. We've sold between 85 and 90% of our offering, which I thought was at the end was good. I expected a little bit of more unsold stuff. So let's see what's going to happen. Let's first glance through the statistics, and then we can finish off. Yesterday there was 465 lots offered, 420 sold. That is 90% on the dot. Price movement, kids was only down with 1%, and you must remember that is winter kids compared with summer kids. And we can do that because we compare microns. We don't compare the quality. And youngers by 3% and adults by 5%. You can see where the big pressure was, and a lot of the majority of the offering was there. Then compared to the previous year, the average market indicator was 338, where yesterday we were at 360. And I know there's a lot of people that is complaining about our average indicator too high, that they can't even get close to it. And you're quite true, or quite right. That indicator exclude all the outsource. And from this season we make a difference on our written report, that we will give the indicator as is to compare with the previous years, but we will also give you an average indicator of outsource included. And that makes a big difference because that indicator comes down to 315 rand a kilo, which is a far more better indicator of where your clip is standing. So I prefer to work with that one. That's a better indicator of what your clip is doing. Then price movement per micron, I'm going to ignore the non-RMS because it's 5% of a clip. You can see 22 micron was down, 23 micron was down a little bit, 24 micron was down a little bit, but 25 micron went up. 25 micron was also down, 26 micron went up, and 27 micron went up with nearly 10%. So that makes the kid average just down with 1%. Then with the young goats, 28 micron was up, but the rest was down, and all the adults was down. There the big culprit was the 35, 36 micron, that was 6% down. So you can go and look at the detail there. There the exchange rate was more or less unchanged to what happened on the last sale in June. It didn't play any role yesterday. Then if you look at the market indicator in dollar terms, you see that we're still above $20, $20.67, which is adequate. Then the top prices, waar hy 9 vir hierdie jager. In the fine micron group, 23, 24 micron, 740 rand and 10 cents for his top bale. Very, very, very nice bale. Second highest price of the day. Then the bidding section in second and third position. Sorry, at 718 rand and 10 cents. And then the highest price of the day at a 26 micron, Petrus Marks van Wolven en Stad. Petrus, baie geluk met daai bal. Dis regtig, dit was 'n superbal. Uitsonderlik geklas. Jy sal sien sy 27 micron was ook 'n superbal. Hy het 2 bale superbale gehad. Regtig baie goeie kwaliteit. Weer in the second place of tweede plek weer vir hierdie jager het R695 vir sy 27 micron. Vir sy 26 micron bal en dan die bidding afdeling. Daar geluk aan Andrew en Ross. Then the 28, 29 micron, which is usually battling this time of the year, it's selling well yesterday. The bidding section dominating at 390 rand. En dan die Nelle van Somerset-Oos. Daar in die derde plek R369.30 is Flippie Nel. Flippie, ek dink jy het goed gedoen onder die omstandighede. Jy sal sien in die 31 micron het Flippie weer die beste prys gehad op R310 per kilogram. En dan meneer Meyer van Prins Albert op 308, Valens Boerdery, Junior Steenkamp, Junior Steenkamp, Junior Norkee, het ook R308, baie mooi skeersel, en dan sy swaar Fanny Marks, familietrust, het Aberdeen, daar die derde hoogste prys, at 308, of wen om 10 cent per kilogram. Then the 52 micron group, the bidding section, ek ben top price at 300 rand, dan Bergplaas Paanseen, Bart, vir die Vyver, klein neefie, baie geluk Bart, R283 vir jou 32 micron, en Marfa Farming, ook daar van Wolmaranstad, ook R280. Dan jou 33, 34 micron, as ons bidding afdeling weer daar goed gedoen, sowel as Bart van die Vyver van Somerset-Oos op R258. Dan die 35, 36 micron groep, weer Bart van die Vyver van Somerset-Oos in die eerste plek, met sy 36 micron van R253. Mense onthou, 36 micron se gemiddelde prys is tussen R235 en R240. Hy het R253 gekry. Hy kry R13 per kilogram boker die gemiddeld vir sy 36 micron waar 'n groot aanbieding was, en dit gaan oor skone brengs en kwaliteit. Baie geluk Bart. Dan die Roos van Fort Beaufort daar in die tweede plek, en dan Antonel van Witmos Estates in die derde plek at R250. En dan jou 37 micron goede, jou sterk haar, is weer Bart van die Vyver daar in die eerste plek, vir sy 37 micron R241 per kilogram, weer eens R10 boker die gemiddeld. Die gemiddeld vir 37 micron was R230. Wayne Porter werd Darkestad at the second price, second highest price at 257, and the House of Fibre bidding. I mentioned in the discussion that it was not a total dominance of Stuckert and Samuel. Stuckert bought 42% and Samuel 57%, but Mosen Falls bought nearly 10%, VBC 3%, and then Konica 7%. And you remember Konica Wools is also here on about 3%. Yesterday she bought 7%. Thank you, there Konica. En Lood Letter daar 1% gekoop, en dan is daar natuurlijk nou vir 10% wat nie verkoop het nie. Ons volgende veiling is oor 3 weke, on the 9th of September. I told you already it's a very big sale. I expect downward pressure on price even further because of a quantity that is available. And so if you can withdraw, I will recommend it. And but let's see. Strange things happen in the Mohair market, so hopefully a full recovery in demand can happen in the next few weeks, and then we'll see a good sale. But thank you from me, and have a blessed day.